The tragic ending of Robert Vaughn. What happened to Robert Vaughn? Robert Vaughn was best known for his portrayal of the urbane Napoleon Solon on the 1960s spy series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. For the most part, however, he managed to avoid being typecast as a debonair secret agent. During his long and varied career, the silky-voiced actor played both heroes and villains. An extraordinarily prolific actor, he appeared in some 50 movies and hundreds of television shows, as well. Robert was born in New York City in 1932, the only child of show business parents. When his parents divorced, Robert was sent to live with his grandparents in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They raised him while his mother toured and performed with her theater group. Robert Vaughn's first film appearance was in Cecil B. DeMille's 1956 biblical epic The Ten Commandments. He was an extra in a cast of thousands, two uncredited roles. One as a Hebrew golden calf idolater and the other as a spear carrier. He eventually signed with Burt Lancaster's film company and was scheduled to play the role of Steve Dallas in a Lancaster film titled Sweet Smell of Success. However, his burgeoning film career was interrupted when he was drafted into the United States Army. He spent 18 months in the military, primarily as a drill sergeant, before being discharged. At the age of 27, he left the service. Robert first began making television appearances in 1955. He had guest spots in Father Knows Best, 1956, Gunsmoke, 1956, 1957, Dragnet, 1958, and The Rifleman, 1958. He also played the role of Art in a November 8, 1959 episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents entitled Dry Run. Robert Vaughn won an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the 1959 film The Young Philadelphians, starring Paul Newman. He played Chester A. Gwynn, an alcoholic who is framed for killer and is defended by lawyer Anthony Lawrence, played by Paul Newman. In the early 1960s, Robert appeared in Bonanza, 1962, The Virginian, 1963, The Untouchables, 1963, The Dick Van Dyke Show, 1963, and 77 Sunset Strip, 1963. In the Dick Van Dyke Show episode, entitled It's a Shame She Married Me, Robert portrayed Jim Darling. An old flame of Laura Petrie, Mary Tyler Moore. When Jim shows up as the latest Alan Brady Show sponsor, he triggers husband Rob's, Dick Van Dyke, insecurities. Rob becomes jealous because Jim is such a successful businessman. Despite all of his television guest roles, Robert Vaughn did not play a major role in a TV series until he was cast in The Lieutenant, a military-themed drama created by Gene Roddenberry of Star Trek fame. The series aired from 1963 to 1964 on NBC and it chronicled the fortunes of U.S. Marine Lieutenant William Rice, Gary Lockwood, and his comrades at Camp Pendleton, near San Diego, California. Robert portrayed Captain Raymond Rambridge, Rice's company commander, in 16 of the Lieutenant's 29 episodes. Although The Lieutenant was short-lived, it served as the stepping stone to Robert's next series, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., one of the most popular American TV shows of the 1960s. The executive producer of The Lieutenant was Norman Feltman, who was also the producer of Dr. Kildare and The 11th Hour. Feltman showed Robert a script for a spy series called Solo. The title was, of course, changed to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And Robert shot to fame as Napoleon Solo. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. debuted on NBC on September 22, 1964 and it ran until 1968. Despite the appeal of Vaughn and McCallum, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.'s popularity began to wane after the 1966–1967 season. The show became more campy and the plots more unreal. At the same time The Girl from U.N.C.L.E. was created, starring Stephanie Powers as American U.N.C.L.E. agent April Dancer and Noel Harrison as her British partner. Both The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and its spin-off were one-hour show. In 1968, The Man from U.N.C.L.E was replaced by Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, which became a huge hit in the late 1960s. The Girl from U.N.C.L.E was cancelled after one season, 1966–1967. Leo G. Carroll appeared as Mr. Waverly on both series. Robert Vaughn appeared as Napoleon Solo on an episode of The Girl from U.N.C.L.E entitled The Mother Muffin Affair. For a time in the early 1970s, Robert lived in England. He played wealthy detective Harry Rule in the British action series The Protectors. The series followed the adventures of three troubleshooters who ran an international crime-fighting agency. Robert's character, Harry Rule, the leader of the group, was based in London. His colleagues, the Contessa di Contini and Paul Boucher, were located in Italy and France respectively. The Protectors was only half an hour long, so it had to be very fast-paced. Robert remained a bachelor until the age of 41 when he married stage actress Linda Staub, born 1943. They met while co-starring in a 1970 Chicago production of The Tender Trap. They also appeared together in a 1973 episode of The Protectors entitled It Could Be Practically Anywhere on the Island. On June 29, 1974, the couple wed at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills, California. They remained together for over 43 years, until Robert's death. Robert and Linda adopted two children, a son named Cassidy, born 1976, and a daughter named Caitlin, born 1981. In the 1980s, Robert continued to make guest appearances on television shows. He was a guest star on Trapper John, M.D., 1980, The Love Boat, 1981, and Hunter, 1989. From 1983 to 1984, he played Harlan Adams on Emerald Point, NAS. From 1986 to 1987, he had a recurring role as General Hunt Stockwell in 13 episodes of The A-Team. He also portrayed John Bradford in the 1985 miniseries Evergreen. In the 1990s, Robert also guest-starred in episodes of Kung Fu. The Legend Continues, 1993, 1994. Burke's Law, 1995, Walker, Texas Ranger, 1996, and The Nanny, 1996, 1998. On The Nanny, he played James Sheffield, the father of the series' lead male character Maxwell Sheffield. In his later years, Robert worked a great deal in Britain. From 2004 until 2012, he played a con artist and card shark named Albert Stroller on the British television drama Hustle. Stroller was part of a group of grifters who specialized in big-time deceptions that yield large fortunes. From January to February 2012, Robert Vaughn played wealthy American Milton Fanshawe on the long-running British soap opera Coronation Street. Robert also appeared in 2 episodes of Law and Order: Special Victims Unit. One in 2006 and the other in 2015. On November 11, 2016 in Ridgefield, he died of acute leukemia, Connecticut. He was 83 years old. Rest in peace, Robert Vaughn. Goodbye, legend.